Hey, it's your boys, Royally Rumbled. My name is Jordan.
I'm Robert.
Guys, today we are doing something that we've never actually done before.
That's right.
It's a first time ever for Royally Rumbled. We're kind of going back to our roots a little bit, and we're going to talk predictions about WrestleMania 41. But, Robert, let them know how we're doing a little differently this time.
Well, we are going to stream in WWE 2k25 the match card and walk you through it, and we're going to talk to you while the matches are happening, and you get to see the action and hear what we've got to say, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll give our predictions on who we think will win in the actual event.
Right.
And we'll let the computer try and decide in the game and see how it shakes out. So without any further ado, let's get to WrestleMania 41 Night 1, WrestleMania Saturday.
Yeah, and I think we're going to kick it off with the World Heavyweight Championship match. Gunther, the champion, defending against Jey Uso.
I like it. We're going to edit some things here. All this looks pretty good as far as that goes, because they're not doing anything no holds barred, so we don't need to necessarily change any of that.
Right. Yeah, it's just a straightforward match.
All right. So the challenger, the Royal Rumble winner, Jey Uso.
Here he is.
Overall is a 90 this year.
Good for him.
Well deserved, honestly. The rise of Jey Uso is something that really kind of caught me off guard as a fan.
And then you see Gunther, there's a 92.
Yeah. So it's pretty well evenly matched. Do we have Ludwig Kaiser come out with Gunther?
I say no.
No?
I say no.
No?
No.
You don't think he's going to be ringside?
No.
You think it's going to be straight one-on-one?
Yeah. We could do bloodline rules.
We could, hypothetically. All right. Let's do we want Mike Rome or Alicia Taylor to be the ring announcer for night one?
Alicia Taylor.
Okay, Alicia Taylor gets night one, Mike Rome can get night two. Select referee for this match. Who are we going with?
Let's see.
We got guys, girls. We got John Cone, Adrian Butler, Chad Patton, Charles Robinson.
Let's do Rod Zapata.
Okay. I feel like that's accurate for a Raw match.
Yeah.
We'll leave special and finisher on normal.
Yeah.
For this. Just see how it goes. But yeah, we are ready, and we're getting ready to go here.
Very excited.
So like I said, I was kind of surprised about the rise of Jey Uso. But really, when you think about it, it's very warranted. He's really become one of the most over guys on the entire program, and rightfully so.
He definitely has, and I don't know if I'm so excited as everyone else is. I get that he gets the crowd hype with his entrance, as we're going to see here. But yeah, he's not my favorite. I'm happy for him. I take nothing away from him. He's definitely worked his ass off. I'm just not the biggest Jey Uso guy.
And a lot of his rise really came to prominence during the COVID era.
Yeah.
Where he was really able to develop the character of Jey Uso a little bit more, and really showed off a different side of his personality that we were never able to see
as a tag
all of the years previous.
Yeah, as a tag guy. Yeah, I always thought when he was in a team with Jimmy that Jimmy was the standout of the two of them. The crowd just chose Jey, and then he, that's why you make him win the Rumble. I don't think that was a bad call at all, because look at what they did. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's huge. It's like Kofi winning at WrestleMania 35, which we were in attendance for.
Exactly. The last time we attended a WrestleMania together, hopefully we get to do it again. But I mean, with the way that those TKO ticket prices are, man, I don't know if that's in the cards. At least not this year. We've got a lot of stuff going on this year.
Yeah, definitely not this year. But oh wow, and you see the Prime cart as ringside is too, man. Wow, they really went all out.
All about the details. And speaking of detail, you got Gunther as the World Heavyweight Champion. Not the belt we're used to looking at when we talk about the World Heavyweight title anymore. Yeah,
that is not the big gold belt that you know and love from Royally Rumbled's 2008 Universe mode. That is currently around the waist of one Randy the Viper Orton. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of people who are big fans of Jey Uso that can take everything that I said about Jey and apply it to Gunther. I personally enjoy Gunther's style more. I like his in-ring work. I like his mic work. I personally feel like he's a really, really good superstar and is one of the better cobbled together entities that we have. I love the mystique that he brings to it, and I love the prestige I feel like he's added to that belt. So,
I mean, speaking of that belt,
it's
it
definitely looks like
they was introduced.
They put a logo on the old one, that's for sure.
I don't hate it though. That's the thing.
No, I don't.
I kind of
I
like
don't hate
the
it.
way that it looks, because it's almost like it's a throwback belt.
Yeah, I wish it were. I wish it were slightly larger.
Yeah,
the main plate.
I do too.
I feel like if the main plate were slightly bigger, you wouldn't have as big of an issue with where the logo is dead center, taking up the whole fucking thing.
Mm-hmm. And like, that title was introduced at a time when we haven't been talking about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Seth Rollins, in my opinion, took that championship and made it mean something.
Yeah.
In a way that a lot of other championships haven't been able to feel.
Yeah, it's hard to because when you don't tie it to a lineage and you start one fresh, it's like difficult to manufacture that prestige for it. You have to give it to somebody like Seth, who can work, 5 times a fucking week and make it mean something.
I feel like he was very successful in that endeavor.
Absolutely.
And honestly, I feel like the same could be said for Damian Priest to a certain point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Obviously not to the degree of Seth Rollins, but definitely something that was interesting and helped elevate Damian Priest. But now that title lies in the possession of the ring general. And
so what I
don't know, man.
What do you think
his reign has been the weakest, in my opinion.
I don't blame him for it, but I don't necessarily disagree with you.
Yeah,
I don't think that his reign has been anything to write home about, and I don't think that he's burning it down. But I think it might be a situation where it's what they've kind of given him to work with, and that leads into whether or not you want to blame that on Jey should be the most worthy opponent. But as we discussed in a text a few weeks ago. And then they did it again. They've 4 times had Gunther just beat somebody down and have Jey save him. Like, we're sort of, we get it, He's the bad guy and Jay's the good guy and Jay's always making the save. But, how many times can you circle that? And then they did it again. We couldn't believe they had done it 3 times. And then they did it a 4th time.
and like we said, like they've changed the formula in the last couple of weeks, especially with the segment with Jimmy.
For sure.
Where they had their incredible bloody beatdown after that match. And that match between him and Gunther was like really fun. It was good.
It was
quick. It made
I like the idea that it might help make Jimmy something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It gives him a different platform.
Yeah. Look at this. The freaking slap fest back and forth.
The trading blows.
I was gonna ask you for real, in real life, what do you think that this match is going to be? Because I have an idea, but I don't know where you're going with it.
Okay, so if I had to guess, I'm gonna put Jay over.
Okay.
I'm putting Jay over huge.
Okay.
But it's not gonna be a squash by any means.
Right.
Oh, see, he just kicked out of the finish there. See, they're gonna do some stuff, like Gunther's gonna like put him through the ringer and they're gonna have a match.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's gonna be a squash. I don't think it's gonna be anything crazy, because this match and this story needs the match to be good for it to mean.
It does. If this match is not good and this match is fast, it will severely diminish that title.
Yeah.
You have to make it big and mean something for that title to remain at a high prestige level, in my opinion.
Yes.
So
wholeheartedly.
You think that it's going to be a good back and forth with Jimmy or with Jay squeezing it out at the end and not stealing it, but getting away with it and winning the title.
Yes.
So we could have Yeedlemania. I don't disagree. I 100% believe that that's possible and that that's real. But there's just this piece in my head that can't shake the idea that they might delay the satisfaction of Jay getting that huge pop for another evening.
This is it. This is the opportunity, and we've talked about it before.
Oh yeah,
privately.
No, for sure. I just think that there is a world where this happens, and Gunther just pummels the shit out of him to the point that it makes people uncomfortable, and then he chokes him out and walks away with this title. And then we continue.
Want that to happen.
I don't
think there's a world in which that ever actually happens.
I don't think it's impossible, and I don't think you can 100% write it off. You can probably.
I can 100% write it off.
I'm just saying. I
would put a tiebreaker on there.
Shout out to the Josh and Stu wrestling show.
And right here,
Jay.
We just see it. Jay wins. Jay goes over. So like, when it's all said and done, like you said, Gunther being a brute and beating down and squashing him, we saw that on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Well, we saw that on Raw, actually, against Jimmy.
Right.
And that's going to be the push that Jay needs to get into the next level, get into the serious mindset. He came out, he cut that promo on Raw.
Yeah.
He told him, I'm going to pray to God and hope that he forgives me for what I've got to do to you at WrestleMania. And I think we're going to get a very different side of Jey Uso in this match.
I just hope that he doesn't 100% blow himself up during his entrance and leave himself absolutely no gas for the match, because he's done it a couple of times, and it's like really been rough to watch him struggle through a match after he blows himself up doing his entrance. So I hope that he's got enough gas in the tank to take it all the way.
All right. So officially, prediction, who you got?
I'll say Jay, but I'm not 100% confident like you are.
Okay, I'm saying Jay as well. And of course, WWE 2k25
also thinks it's
suggesting Jay. So we could potentially have a new world heavyweight champion at the end of WrestleMania. I know there was a lot of controversy about that not being the main event.
Ugh.
So, like, do you want to elaborate on this? You could take the lead, because I feel like we've talked about this. So let's get it all out into the open. And if you guys have an issue, you could add us at Royally Rumbled.
Yeah. This will be posted on our Instagram. You could definitely shoot us a message or comment on one of the videos. I think people have tied the idea of a title match with the main event of WrestleMania. The prize for winning the Royal Rumble has always been a guaranteed title match at WrestleMania. It has never simply meant the main event. The title match is the prize for winning the Royal Rumble. And the people conflate the two and combine the two because oftentimes the main event is a title match. And oftentimes they have done it where it is a main event title match. But also, WWE for years has elevated the status of multiple matches on one card to be quote unquote main events. So even if it's not in the final spot, it is still technically a main event match. And there's a lot of people that get into their feelings about this, and I just don't think that it's necessary or fruitful.
No, not at all. Because, like, at the end of the day, Jey Uso still won the Royal Rumble.
Right.
He still eliminated John Cena.
Right.
To win the Royal Rumble in the main event of the Royal Rumble. WrestleMania itself, WWE for years has built several matches and build them as the main event.
Main event. Yeah.
They have 5 to 6 main events on every WrestleMania.
It's just crazy how upset people got.
Yeah, and it's like people also fail to realize that if Jey Uso and Gunther open the show at WrestleMania, that's a huge. Stellar spot.
That's huge
to have. That's fantastic.
That's why we put it in the order that we put it in. And you see here, Jordan has referee Jessica Carr selected for our next match.
Yes, which is, in fact, El Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio. So we're going to get off the soapbox about Jey Uso and Gunther and move on to the next round.
Oh, wow. Okay. I like the custom mask of El Grande Americano. As you saw JBL say, he's very upset to see somebody like Chad Gable not able to get onto the card for WrestleMania, and he thinks it's bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, he said it himself. All these people are coming in and taking their jobs. Actually hilarious. I've enjoyed this story so far. Ever since Chad Gable went to Mexico and like went searching for a guy that Dom Mysterio like told him about, and we got like a Lucha Underground style backstage segment.
It was really shot just like Lucha Underground backstage segment. Even like the lighting.
Yeah, it was excellent. So it's really cool to see that they're giving this brand new guy, El Grande Americano, a shot at WrestleMania against the greatest luchador of all time, Rey Mysterio.
I mean, I've said this before. If you listen to the first run of our Royally Rumbled podcast where we would do predictions, and I probably have said it in our 2008 Universe mode. Make sure you're following us on Instagram at Royally Rumbled. Rey Mysterio's on my Mount Rushmore. Like my personal top 4 of all time. Rey Mysterio's on there. So it's really cool that this newcomer to the industry, El Grande Americano, gets a shot at Rey on the grandest stage of them all.
And sure, you could argue, you could say, oh yeah, that's kind of random. But at the same time, like, why not?
I think it's a really good position for Ray in this point in his career to be helping out guys that are trying to get to that next level like this.
Yes.
I think that's the part of it that can't be overstated, because you know Ray is going to give you a hell of a match no matter who you are. And somebody that's around his size but wrestles a completely different style is going to be the part of it that winds up everybody saying that that's one of the better matches of the whole weekend.
I guarantee you this match is going to be a standout for that exact reason.
Right.
Because Ray is so good at adapting to any style that he's in the ring with. He can make anyone look so good.
Oh. I think Ray got busted open already.
Yeah, which is interesting. Could it actually happen? But
technically could. Now, in
unclear.
real life,
yes.
How do you see this going? Because I feel like there's really only one way it goes.
Do you want to start, or do you want me to? Because I also have a prediction on the way that this goes.
Oh yeah, go with yours.
Okay, so I think at one point or another, because Chad Gable...
Who?
I'm saying because Chad Gable wasn't included in this match, American Alpha might try to get involved somehow, right?
Got it.
Which then leads the LWO to come out and do a big thing.
Okay.
But we won't actually see Chad Gable because he's, doing something somewhere, he's upset. He's not on the WrestleMania card.
What if we do see Chad Gable? What if the match breaks down so hard that El Grande Americano slips out of the ring or is knocked out on the outside?
He rolls under.
And then suddenly Chad Gable comes out and evens the score with Ray. And then Chad decides to get out of there. And then we see El Grande Americano come back and pick the bones.
I mean, it would definitely be interesting. I would actually almost prefer that to my idea. So my idea is going to be based off of what he did to Dragon Lee on their last match, which is he unmasked him and then won the match because of the distraction.
Right.
So I think he's going to try and do that to Ray, but Ray is going to outsmart him.
Is Ray going to wear the two masks like he did that one time?
That would be cool. I would be
he
totally down.
He pulls the one off and he's still wearing the mask.
Yeah, and then obviously El Grande Americano is shocked by this. Ray unmasks him.
Okay, yeah. And then we
Ray
get the reveal of who that is and ruin his luchador career.
Yes. He must unmask, and we will see the true visage.
Dude, that would be great if he goes to unmask Ray, and Ray's wearing a second mask, and then Ray does it to him, and then it would be awesome if the crowd acted surprised. You know what I mean? Like if we got a holy shit.
Yeah, I'm picturing the zoom in on his face.
The hard zoom from super wide.
And the look of shock.
Yeah. That'd be so funny. Yeah. That would be so funny. And here we see Rey Mysterio taking out the young
Grande
upstart.
Americano. Well, he's a legend in Mexico.
That's right.
So, but he's very young in his WWE career.
Yeah, that was
very
cool.
young, but
that'd be funny.
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be a fun match, I think, either way. And like we said,
this was really good.
It's got the potential to steal the show for the evening.
This was really good.
Yeah, we should have done a Bloodline Rules match and had the LWO come out with American Alpha.
Oh shit!
Next time. Yeah. I love that new LWO logo, by the way.
Yes.
It's definitely a much needed upgrade, and I feel like it fits this group much better.
Yeah, because it's not just a retread for the sake of being a retread. It's something of its own now.
Yeah. But yeah, so Rey Mysterio, that's my pick for the match. What about you?
Oh, no, I think El Grande Americano is going to win it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whether it's him with a mask or him without a mask, I think he winds up winning it.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so what do we got next?
I'm really excited for this one because I want to see how far along everybody's gotten in their training. But we've got Naomi versus Jade Cargill up next.
Ooh, okay.
Dude, I'm still the way that they had Jade return at Elimination Chamber, I still think was one of the coolest things that they've done like that, and taking Naomi out the way that she did. I thought that was awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
It was so unexpected. And the idea that Bianca was just locked in the cell watching and she couldn't do anything. Mm-hmm. And like the way that Jade,
and the fact that she didn't know what she was there to do,
like what even was going on.
Naomi, like they got that reaction shot, for social, and that was perfect.
But like she tore her ass up in that return. And I know they've gone back and forth on the mic a couple of times. Like I think it's been built really good for once for a women's match that doesn't have a title involved. Which is rare.
They haven't done this. They haven't done this in how long?
Yeah,
when was the last time they had a singles women's match on WrestleMania, not for a championship?
I think you're going back to WrestleManias that started in the 20s. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe.
It's not.
Someone fact check us.
I think I saw
top of my head.
Yeah, I think I saw that the last time was like all the way back in the 20s of a WrestleMania. I don't know if it was 27 or 28 or something like that. Which is crazy. But like the idea, they built this into its own thing, and I really think that it's important and it's going to be good.
Yeah. I hope that they give them some time.
Yeah.
To let them work a little bit.
Yeah. I think I like putting this match closer to the top of the card because I think it gives them more eyes.
Yes.
I think that if you put this in what has become the death slot, which is the match right before the main event, they're going to have 5 minutes and they're purely there to take the crowd down.
To be a buffer.
And I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it happen that way. I don't want to see it happen that way. So that's why when we put this card together, I thought this should be closer to the top. Yet again, proving that it's not a detriment to not be at the end of the damn show.
Exactly. If you're on the card, that's a big deal.
A huge deal.
No matter what. If you worked for WWE, you would be happy to wrestle on a Saturday or a Sunday. It wouldn't fucking matter.
No.
So, I'm a big fan of Trinity and Naomi.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that she got an opportunity to come back, and this is the first time, in my opinion, that she's getting to sink her teeth in to a story. To a character.
Yes.
To just like anything to make her like stand out. So I'm excited to finally see what she offers and what she could bring to the table
in this space. Like
in this space.
Yeah.
She's been killing it as a heel. Those promos that she's been cutting have been so engaging and so entertaining, in my opinion.
And so now Jade's coming out, and I have all of the hope in the world for her with all of the potential that she has, man.
She has so much potential, and I think that's part of the problem.
Right, is because she's not able to grow normally. She's not able to grow like Naomi's been in the company for over 10 years. And we're talking about she's finally sinking her teeth into a character. Everybody's expecting Jade on day one because of what she looks like. and how she carries herself to be at the top already. And that's really not realistic or fair, considering she only started wrestling, 5 years ago, something like that?
Yeah.
Like entirely, like from the ground up?
Yeah.
But
that's crazy.
You know, I really like her. I think she's got a great look. She's got a great character. And I think she owns all of that. It's just when she's in the ring, and this is going to be by herself, there's nobody to tag out to save her. She's got to carry the match. I don't think that this is going to be a squash either. I think that they're really going to try to give them some time. I really hope that they do.
They should.
Like it can't be that they get into the ring, Jade tosses her around 4 times, hits her with the finish, and it's over. Like that would not be good for either of them. But I don't think Triple H books that way. I think 10 years ago that might have been the way that this went. This is in the death slot. It's a squash, and that's the end of it. I think that we're going to get some time to flesh this match out and let both of them really struggle through it, kayfabe-wise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're going to knock each other out, knock each other down like that.
Yeah, they're there for a fight, and they're not going to mess around.
I want to see them swinging on each other like this is bad blood, and they're finally getting to do it. Jade was put out of commission for how many months? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think the match is going to start off, it's going to be all Jade.
Yeah.
It's going to be Jade is like looking like an unstoppable monster, and then Naomi's going to cut her off.
Yeah.
And that's where it's going to get interesting.
We're going to get a rear view out of nowhere, and then the whole thing's going to turn sideways.
Yeah. So it's going to be a good match, and like I'm very excited for both of them.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if Jade is built for the main roster yet.
I think
that's
that
just my personal opinion.
Had she debuted in NXT, she could be working with Jordan Grace right now.
Yeah.
They could be working together right now, which is even more of a sort of interesting prospect. 2 incredibly strong women physically, you know what I mean, tagging up.
Well, I mean,
and
there's a bunch of good talent.
Sure.
The women's division in NXT. You've got like Lash Legend. You've got Roxanne Perez. Even though she's floating back and forth.
How tall is Lash Legend?
I don't know entirely, but like.
I couldn't believe because I don't regularly watch NXT anymore like
neither
we
do
used
I.
to.
Yeah,
so when I saw her in the Rumble, I was like, "Holy shit, who is this?" Because like I was blown away by her. Like, so the idea that there's that kind of a roster on NXT, I don't think that it would have been a bad thing if Jade had gone there. I really don't. And there's like always this group of people, no matter what happens, that is like, "Oh well, that's the wrong way to do it," blah, 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 as if they've ever done it. Yeah. But
and
if Jade were put on the NXT roster when she came to WWE, there would have been a loud minority of people complaining that she wasn't on the main roster.
Yes. Because of where she came from.
Right.
Which I understand, but at the end of the
don't
day,
think they would have been
you
right.
like what you like, and it's fine, but Jade is an attraction.
Yeah.
And I think depending on how they book her is going to make or break the way that she continues to work.
Yeah.
I think she needs to beat Naomi at WrestleMania.
I think she will.
But I also feel like Naomi deserves the win over her. I feel like Naomi deserves the win.
So that's the thing too, is when you get the internet wrestling community saying the words "going over," Naomi can go over here and lose.
Sure.
She's going to be the person that is doing all of the bumping.
Oh, not into the Prime Hydration Station.
They've set that up after every match so far in our simulation because it's got knocked over.
There's a guy who comes out and he sets it all.
No, I think that Jade will win the match, but I think it's entirely possible to walk away from this and go like, "Holy shit, Naomi worked in that match." Yeah. And that's really what we need to see out of both of them.
Naomi got caught up, man. Naomi got caught up taunting.
I mean, the count was up to 9. So.
Yeah. It's really dramatic. Really heightened drama. Oh, no. Oh, that was cool.
Wow. She's fighting back.
I'm excited for this.
Yeah, because like I think it's definitely going to go that way. Like she's going to get beat down at the beginning. Jade is going to wear her down, and then she's going to hit the move, and the kick out's going to happen, and we're all going to be like, holy shit. And then I think we're going to get Naomi fire up, and she's going to start landing some offense, and then Jade's going to be the one that cuts it off and ends it, you know?
Yeah. She has to.
But I think it's going to start off. I think it's going to start off where they're holding each other's heads and they're throwing haymakers. Like it's just going to be a fight to start out, and then Jade's going to get into power moves, and Naomi's going to have to fight back up.
Oh, see? So like anything could happen here.
Yeah.
I think my prediction has to be Jade.
Yeah, same.
Oh man. Here we go.
This is the second one of the match, so that's it.
Another Jaded.
Stunned. No chance for the rope break. That's it.
Love it. Love the animation.
Yeah.
Both of their models in this game look really
fantastic.
Good. So,
what if Jade goes for that? She goes for that crossbody, and Naomi meets her with a rear view.
Let's make it happen, ladies.
Do it. Big moment in the match.
Yeah.
And they're both throwing their bodies at each other like that. Like I think it'd be really cool.
All I'm saying, Jade needs to sell her ass off to make this match work. Because I feel like Jade has some problems with that.
Well, that's training.
That's inexperience. That's it. That's it. And she's only going to get better.
Right.
That's it. She's only going to get better.
Right.
So I look forward to this match. I look forward to the reception that these women get.
Yeah.
And I look forward to what they're able to elicit from the crowd.
Yeah.
My pick officially, Jade Cargill.
I also am on the Jade train.
Here is your winner, Jade Cargill.
And I think, honestly, that was probably the best match that we've had so far. That we've
seen. It was actually
cool.
like really, really well structured for the AI.
Yeah, it was nice back and forth. Of course, the sliders aren't perfect.
Yeah. It's exhibition.
I had them,
Yeah.
I mean, I had them adjusted for our 2008 universe mode a little bit. For this, it's a little different, but that's okay.
So what
match is next?
We're gonna get out of singles action, and we are gonna go with the War Raiders defending their World Tag Team Championships against the New Day. What a build for this.
People are upset. I can't actually believe the sheer amount of people that are actually upset with the fact that this match is on WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great that it's on WrestleMania. I just think that, not that I would swap one tag match for the other. But if we found a way to get this on the WrestleMania card, I feel like we should have found a way to get Motor City Machine Guns on the WrestleMania card. So not taking anything away from this one and not saying, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm just saying like this one could have, like that one also could have made it as well.
But hey, we don't get to choose.
No.
We don't get to choose.
We're not in that kind of a position like we are in our 2008 universe. Where everyone's going to be on the card at WrestleMania.
Everybody's going to be on the card at WrestleMania. Let's give this match to John Cone.
Okay.
World Tag Team Championships on the line.
We're obviously saving Charles Robinson for the Tiffany Stratton Charlotte Flair match.
Correct.
Got to have a little Nate out there.
Correct.
Now this is the New Day of old. This is not the New Day.
Well, this is technically the New Day. I edited them a little bit, so they are bad guys. The crowd is booing them.
Okay.
Kind of a different vibe for their entrance. No pancakes can be found.
Sadness.
But
sadness can be found, though.
Yeah.
How do you feel about turning the New Day heel? And how do you feel about how it's gone and how they've handled it?
I love how it's gone and how they've handled it. I don't know where we're going to go with it. And I think that's what's so exciting. Because for so long, you saw Kofi Kingston, you saw Xavier Woods, you knew what you were going to get out of a tag team match. And now it's like they've been given a new lease on like
everything,
their story and their lives and their characters and everything like that. So I like the idea of them kicking Big E out of the New Day and erasing him from their history. From a effective heel standpoint, I'm in.
I don't think it tarnishes the legacy of the New Day in any way. I think it just adds to the layers and the dimensions. I think it was probably overdue for them to turn heel in some form or fashion. You know, I mean, when they split them up on different brands, it was like kind of giving it a different vibe, but it was still much of the same. Mm-hmm. And no, I don't think that they were stale. I always enjoyed them, but at a certain point, you can only do that for so long before you need to do something different.
Yeah, you gotta evolve.
I don't know. I don't know if the segment where they turned heel was 100% what it could have been.
Yeah.
Something felt off about it. It felt like something was missing.
We didn't know. We were expecting it to be one thing, and it came out, and it was just not that at all.
Yeah. Maybe it was just because it was all words. Maybe that's really what not the disappointment. I don't want to keep using terms that are so charged negatively.
Yeah.
Just like there's just a level where I felt like them turning heel could have been super huge. And the fact that it was just like in a back and forth promo and then it was over and now they're bad is just kind of like slightly lackluster in my opinion.
But it was effective.
It was effective. It was effective. I just feel like there could have been something else to get it to another level. I don't think we're at the level yet. That's all they
needed. They didn't need physicality.
No.
I disagree with you. I don't think they needed physicality in any way to make
I'm not saying that I think they needed it. I just feel like if maybe that was the thing that I was missing from it. I felt like there was a part of it that just wasn't complete. There was something about it that I felt like was just off and not 100% what it could have been. Because we went from absolutely loving them and loving everything that they did all the time, and then they just said a bunch of mean words and then they were bad.
Sometimes that's all it takes, though. And it works because literally the crowd reacts.
I like where they're at now, and I really like how there was a few weeks of them just kind of milling around in the back and being part of other people's promos and just kind of being dickheads about it. Like that helped it, I feel like, for sure. Because they really wanted to sell you on the character and the idea that they were no longer who you thought they were. I like that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because then it literally established them as like
This is what this is now.
Yeah. Everyone is despising them.
Right.
Including Dominic Mysterio.
Which is bad.
Which is, yeah, it is. It by association with that, with him blowing you off and being like, man, I can't believe you guys did that.
Yeah.
That makes them look like the biggest pieces of shit.
Yeah.
So, but what about the War Raiders, man? They got their name back.
That's awesome. I like that they still kept them as Erik and Ivar and they didn't go back to, what was it, Rowe and
Hansen.
I like that they kept it as Erik and Ivar. I'm glad that they got the name back because obviously nobody liked the Viking Raiders name. Or even worse, the Viking Experience, which is just completely batshit. Batshit insane.
That popped up in my memories the other day when we were complaining about it.
I mean, like, what a bad idea. And, like, what a way to just, like, completely neuter them. Like, before anything happens.
They were the current NXT Tag Team Champions, and then they
changed their name.
Called up, and they changed their name, and they didn't even have the titles on Raw.
Stupid.
It was, like, the weirdest thing.
Stupid. So
you're cutting them off at their legs.
Yeah.
Like, making them not even be able to stand up.
So I like everything about them now. I like that they're sort of not 100% doing a Viking cosplay.
They're not. They're more like bikers, essentially.
Yeah. And that's totally
which
cool.
I like.
Yeah, totally cool. And a lot more believable, a lot more real.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know that you know, Erik does like homesteading and lives sort of like an actual Viking. But it's a good thing to let him do that in his spare time and not have it be on TV necessarily, because they don't need to be weird kooky characters like that to get the idea across of what they are. So
and I feel like Triple H has done a good job. Triple H has done a good job of letting these guys be themselves a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see that, especially going back to like thinking about when you and I were watching them on Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
You know, like thinking about what a big deal it was to see these two guys just beating the piss out of teams.
Dude,
then they come to NXT and they're
NXT
having like
debut.
Such a great run.
Yeah, their NXT debut and their ensuing like year of their debut on NXT was fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. They tore through everybody. It was so cool. I really liked when Erik was out.
Oh my god!
Recently, that Ivar got that like singles run and was kind of doing things on his own. I thought that was really fucking sweet.
He got that whole like North American Championship feud on NXT, really which I thought was really cool. Like these guys have grown as a tag team, especially a lot over the last year.
Which is crazy because they were already so good. That's nuts.
Yeah, I think it was a great decision to have them be the ones to unseat Judgment Day.
Yeah.
As the champions. They've done a good job so far, and I don't necessarily know that this needed to be on WrestleMania, but I think that all four of the guys in the match
deserve to be on WrestleMania. Yeah.
On WrestleMania.
Absolutely. Now, in terms of what's going to happen on Saturday, April 19th, do you think that the New Day is going to get their next tag team championships? Or do you think that War Machine is going to retain?
Well, I think the War Raiders will retain.
Okay.
But I think there will be some type of dusty finish, some type of controversy in which New Day should win.
So they'll have a bone to pick.
Knocked out. Yes, and they will continue this forward. Yeah, they'll continue this match forward and this feud into the future, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of meat on the bone here, and I don't think now is the right time to hot potato those titles back and forth.
For sure.
There's not enough teams to keep it as interesting.
Yeah, and I think they're sort of at the beginning. Yeah, why did that happen? Well, here's your dusty finish.
There we go.
A double count out. That'll do it. and keep the.
I guess we'll rematch it.
No, don't. That's it.
No?
That's it.
Oh, man.
That's it. It's a draw.
Okay. Yeah, so I honestly, I do think that something like that is going to happen.
Yeah. And I mean, it makes sense. It would absolutely make sense if that's what transpired, so that they could keep the feud going and sort of build out the back and forth.
Tag division. Yeah.
But our next match is the United States Championship match. With everybody saying LA Knight, yeah, versus the Samoan Werewolf.
Do we go to nighttime at this point?
I think because it's LA Knight, we should go to nighttime.
Okay. All right. Let's do that.
So now that the time has passed, those first 1, 2, 3, 4 matches have definitely eaten away at our daylight, and now it's getting dark out, and it's not going to be cold because they're going to be in Las Vegas. Not like when it was in Philly.
Yeah. Who do we want reffing this match? Chad Patton?
Yeah.
Cool. We'll give this match to Chad Patton. Well, actually, it's SmackDown, so let's do Jessica Carr.
Okay.
Do Jessica Carr. Rest Jeff.
That's going to be her second one on the card here.
Jess. I know. Okay. Solo Sikoa is not in this match.
No, he's not. Or is he going to be a manager?
I was going to say, do we let him manage Jacob Fatu?
I say yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's have you could probably put all of them out there if you want to. You don't have to put Tonga Loa out there, but you could put Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga. Yeah.
Tama Tonga and Solo.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Solo as his tribal chief. No. Yeah, fuck it. We'll give him the Ula Fala. Actually, no. We're gonna change that. We're gonna just put him as regular Solo.
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
Tama Tonga. Just the two?
Yeah, just the two. Because it's more
bloodline, eh?
It's more current.
Okay. All right. He won't be back in time, so I guess.
Right.
An LA Knight.
That's the man. I watched their segment from SmackDown this past week, and I thought it was really good.
I did not watch it.
With Orton was involved.
Oh, yes, I did watch that, actually. I did see that.
Because Randy Orton lost his match. That's probably why Night 2 is missing a match.
A match. That is exactly why.
So I wonder if this becomes a tag match at WrestleMania. I know they did it on SmackDown.
For who?
With Orton and...
Orton has nothing to do with this. Stop saying that. Orton's doing his own thing with Nick Aldis.
Okay. That's right. That's
right. Orton's going to have a singles match, but he's not facing...
I wonder who that's going to be. Man.
I mean, I have ideas, and we could talk about that when we get there. Oh, he looks so good, man.
He really does.
He looks so good. It's cool seeing him in a freaking game.
Really cool.
The Samoan Werewolf in a WWE game, man.
Great nickname.
He looks like they bulked him up a little bit in a patch. because he was not that bulky in the initial build when the first game came out. But I think they bulked him up a little bit, which like he looks good.
Yeah,
he looks real good. Also, the arena at night looks really cool.
Always.
Not that it looks bad during the day, but like there's something about the nighttime. And 2K's really nailed the scale of like arenas, I feel like.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yes, but we'll get to the Orton stuff in a little bit, because I have an idea regarding that. But I think Jacob Fatu could walk out of this.
Oh yeah,
the United States Championship.
Oh yeah.
It makes me worried for this man.
I wouldn't say I'm counting on it, but there's a part of me that sort of just feels like it's sort of all but guaranteed that LA Knight drops this title here. I don't think it's anything to take away from him.
No, because like we said during the Naomi match, is like you could go out and you could have a hell of a match and still get over despite losing.
Yeah.
So it really depends on how they structure the match.
If LA Knight
execute.
If LA Knight loses this, people are going to complain and complain and complain. But I feel like depending on how good the match is, this will propel LA Knight to the next level. He's got the crowd behind him. So I think that he could drop the title and then leave the United States title division and move up to the next division for another title.
Would you... So here's a question. Would you move LA Knight to Raw after this?
I would consider it.
Because that's what I think would probably be the best decision, because then it gets him away from the bloodline completely and away from that title. And he can actually go on to the World Heavyweight Championship division and mix it up with those guys.
Right. The funny thing is though, if Jay wins the title, he doesn't get too far away from the bloodline guys.
It's a different bloodline.
I know.
It's a different bloodline.
It's just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
He could say things in his promos like I told your cousin.
Oh man.
But yeah, he was. They had a really good match on SmackDown. It was a lot of fun. I am particularly not the biggest LA Knight fan. I will just come right out and admit that.
You've said that.
It's not like I have nothing against him. I'm not taken in by what he does.
Fair.
That's
fair. I mean, you've got a big problem because you've said in the past that he reminds you of like a Rock / Austin cosplay.
Right. I feel like that's what he's doing. I feel
he's not genuine to you.
Right. I feel like I can see where he's like, oh, I'm going to use this and oh, I'm going to use that. And I'm just like, okay, but like make it you. Like stop doing imitations of other people and make it 100% your own. And like I will say, when I watched SmackDown the other night, I felt less like it was an imitation of someone and more like he's getting comfortable in this character now.
Yeah.
I really do. But at first, when we watched him against, what was it, Bray Wyatt was like that one match that we watched.
Yeah.
Bray's last match.
At the Royal Rumble.
And then a couple of matches since then, I just can't think of what they were. I've seen him and I'm just kind of like, I can take or leave LA Knight. But when I watched the clip or the segment from SmackDown, I was like, okay, this is more what I feel like he needed to be doing. Yeah. He definitely feels more like his own person, you know? And I know that he was Eli Drake in TNA. And I think LA Knight's a different character and he had to figure a way to bridge that gap. And at first he wasn't really doing it.
And he had the catchphrase, like he had the LA Knight. He's got the charisma. He's got the mic work. His in-ring work is solid, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing stopping him from getting to that next level, and I feel like...
I think he's better in-ring than Joe Hendry.
I feel like he got throttled a little bit because he got stuck going up against Roman.
Yeah, well, I think that was
fucking reign.
I feel like that's also a function of too hot, too fast.
What's gonna happen here for a second though? Because this looks dangerous.
We got Jacob already spilling blood.
Oh, that was cool.
Nice.
That was a nice little reversal. Little reversal. But Jacob Fatu is a guy that I'm very interested in. And I think he'd be a stellar champion. And I think it would be even cooler if he won that title and then they started doing something between him and Solo.
Yeah.
Fracturing that group.
I 100% is what's going to happen, I feel like. Without a doubt. Because Solo's character is not going to allow someone who he brought in to surpass him.
No.
In the way that Roman Reigns' character would not allow people that he brought in to surpass him.
Exactly.
That is all part of it. So I 100% feel like that. But I feel like Solo's had a lot on his plate in the first 2 years that he's been a superstar. And I feel like he's handled it fucking immaculate.
Yeah, he's grown a lot as a character. Especially for being so young.
Yeah. But he came right in and had to just jump into the deep end, and I feel like he handled it really well.
Mm-hmm. Especially being able to lead a group like that, and then work with Roman and Cody.
Yeah.
And Cena, for that matter.
And Cena. I was going to say, if you didn't say him, I was going to say him.
Like, Solo has proven that he belongs, and he's, he's not, like, a Kenny Omega in the sense of like, oh my god, he's so good in the ring, but he's a character and he's a presence. In
WWE, you don't have to do that to have the impact. You don't need to be a work rate. You don't need to be a work rate guy. It doesn't hurt you.
No.
And it can certainly help you to be a work rate guy, but you don't have to be.
We've talked about it at length at our old on our old episodes where we talked about how you don't need to do all the flashy moves because everyone in the company can work. Yep. Every single person can wrestle. There was a time back in the day where there would be crops of guys that were really good and then everyone else was terrible.
Terrible. See,
there we got blunt force trauma.
I don't like that as a finisher. I'm sorry.
Well, he just beat him.
He did.
So the game is saying LA Knight, what about you? What are you thinking? What's officially your prediction here?
I'll say Jacob Fatu officially. I'm going to lock it in.
I think there's a world in which Solo accidentally costs Jacob Fatu this match. And it continues to backlash and then forward.
Okay.
So I think this is more of a start for the feud here. So I could see LA Knight winning. So I'm going to predict LA Knight.
Sure. That was a really good one too.
It was, yeah. I feel like we're getting better as the game is going, which is fun.
Yeah. Well, that bodes well for our next match.
Go ahead.
Well, no, to give LA Knight his flowers, he also, I think the crowd caught on to him too quick when he first came up, and I don't think that they knew exactly what to do with him at that point. I think it was
because
it was a lot too fast. Yeah, and a lot of times I feel like the crowd thinks that because they've willed some people to the main event of WrestleMania that they can just do it whenever they want to whoever they want. And sometimes the company needs to be like, we will get to that. We have to give this person something underneath their wings first. So our next match, is this the women's championship or is this the women's world heavyweight. Like, how does that?
No, this is the WWE
Women's Championship. Okay. I wasn't sure which one was which.
Yeah, so there's the women's
world heavyweight. Championship. Well, they don't say heavyweight.
It's just women's world championship.
Yeah,
and then the WWE Women's Championship.
Got it. So
this has the lineage of the previous championships.
We've got Tiffany Stratton
versus the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble winner Charlotte Flair.
Woo, doggy.
Oh man, this match.
Charlotte Flair 17. Fuck yeah. Let's go.
Accidental. Oh, did I? Yeah, I gotta fix something real quick.
Oh no.
Because, wait, no, where is it?
You don't have the title on the right person.
Yeah, because I was messing around with some stuff earlier. Wait, nope, that's the right one. Where is it? There it is. I gotta give Tiffy her title back. I made her the Money in the Bank winner because they have a new Money in the Bank motion for her this year.
Nice.
So I wanted to see what that looked like. All right. So yeah, this match has been clunky, if I will, if I do say so myself.
Okay.
And it's not for the reasons why I think people think it's clunky.
Well, elaborate. Let us hear it.
So,
as you build the match in the game.
So Charlotte and Tiffany have gone back and forth on SmackDown in several promos. And honestly, it's been rough, to say the least. Charlotte, in my opinion, has looked so good comparatively to Tiffany every single week without fail. Aside from this past
Little Nate.
Or 2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago, actually.
Yes.
So the personal shots have made this very awkward because it's no longer just about
characters on TV.
Now you're getting into real life bullshit drama for no reason.
Imagine if in the most recent J-Lo movie somebody was like, well, that's why your ass married and divorced Ben Affleck twice, and they'd be like, huh? So uncalled for. But I get that. From what I understand, Charlotte was digging at her first. I still don't necessarily think that that's an excuse to go there.
No, it's not. Because
I think that that's a sign of somebody who's not 100% mature and still very, very new in the business. But I will say,
she's in her early 20s.
I will say that if somebody that was new to the business, like a Jade Cargill, did something like that, I think the internet would not have had her back the way that they had Tiffany's back. So
I agree.
And I think everybody needs to ask themselves why.
No, well, so a lot of people have a big issue with Charlotte Flair. Still, to this day. People have had an issue with Charlotte Flair for years.
Yeah.
This is not anything new that you and I have talked about.
No.
We've talked about this at length on our podcast.
What was
back in 2019.
Right. No. It had to be earlier than that because it was
earlier than that.
It was going into WrestleMania 35, and it was the Survivor Series before that.
Yeah, so that's 2018.
Yeah, where we had the Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch build up. If you want to hear more of that, you could listen to The Problem with Becky Lynch on our YouTube channel, where we talked at length about what happened there.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the time, I was the biggest Charlotte stan in the world, and she's had a lot of things happen to her injury-wise that's kept her out of the ring. So I really hope that when we get to this match at WrestleMania, I hope that it's the quality of Charlotte Flair match that we're accustomed to, and not her dealing with a new normal in terms of her injuries and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Well, not necessarily. Charlotte got injured one time and she was out for over a year.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Missing that much time.
Yeah.
And then for her to come back, right? Win the Royal Rumble and then have that crowd turn on her was rough.
But that was never
part of
this
the plan.
crowd. That has been this crowd for years. And I don't know if it was the fault of Daniel Bryan or what. But, I mean, it might even be the fault of CM Punk if you go back a little bit further. The crowd trying to book the show through their reaction. And picking and choose. Like, they forced Becky Lynch into all of that because that's what they wanted. And they capitulated to the crowd. And as soon as you start doing that, you have them try to take over the show. So Charlotte wins the Royal Rumble, and nobody wanted Charlotte to win the Rumble because they don't want her near a title because she's apparently kicked their dog and spit on their babies or something.
She is the best female performer on their entire roster. Why the fuck wouldn't you want to put Charlotte Flair in a championship match at WrestleMania?
Stupid.
Because you know that she is going to walk into that match and over-deliver every single time.
Think about
that woman busts her ass to entertain you ungrateful people.
Fickle.
Like, that's it. They are fickle. They are fickle.
I said to somebody that I know that is a big Becky Lynch fan, I said, how many of her greatest matches do not involve Charlotte Flair? And that
was a while ago.
And it still holds true, first of all. But how many women in the last, I don't know, you want to call it 8 years?
Yeah.
How many women in WWE's biggest match was not with Charlotte Flair? She elevates everyone.
And
elevates
you could argue
everyone.
You could argue that Charlotte is selfish in a certain way, but I don't think Charlotte's sitting there with the pen.
We're not going to see that.
Trying to armchair book herself into matching her dad's title reigns.
I don't think that's
like that's not.
I don't think that's as much of an issue in modern wrestling as it used to be.
Sure.
I think in the past and in the 90s for sure, and in the early 2000s for sure, you had a lot of backstage politicking and undercutting and cutting. And I don't think that this group of people, this era of talent, that's probably a better way to put it. I don't think this era of talent does that, because I think that they all have realized, especially with pay rate and pay scales evening out the way that they have, that's really necessary. And losing on TV and losing at the pay-per-views does not ruin your character. We disagreed years ago when Road Dogg was on a podcast and said that the wins and losses don't matter. We hated that.
Yeah.
But we've been booking our 2008 universe for 5 years now.
It's been 5 years.
We've been booking our 2008 universe for 5 years now, and I can't tell you how true wins and losses not really mattering is, as long as your character moves forward with something from it.
Yeah.
That's really the truth of the matter, is that the character has to take something away as they move forward. If they lose, it's like, okay, but what do they do with that loss? What does the loss make them do? What does the win for the other person make them do? And how does it work all together? It's writing a television program.
That's it. That's it, and I feel like a lot of people don't actually understand that.
No.
They just view the wins and losses as like, well, Charlotte's so good, she keeps winning. And meanwhile, everyone's forgetting the fact that this feud started because Charlotte felt sorry for Tiffany because people kept comparing them
together.
Like, comparing her to Charlotte.
Yep.
That's why the feud started.
Yeah.
Because Charlotte's almost insulted.
I mean, we could if we went back if we went back to the old way that this shit was booked. Okay.
Yeah.
Charlotte would have chosen the other title to go after, and we'd probably have her versus Rhea Ripley again. Yeah. And Tiffany Stratton, because she got into a made-up internet feud on behalf of Mandy Rose. We would have that match, and that would fucking be the second match on the show as a buffer after a multi-man ladder match. Like, it would not have mattered at all. But now you have Tiffany Stratton, who's clearly the next generation of this women's evolution. You know what I mean? Like, you said she's in her early 20s. She's going to be here for as long as she wants to be here, at the top of the card already. Working with Charlotte now is huge. Working with Charlotte now is huge for her. Huge.
Yeah. And that's what I think people are missing, is every time Charlotte is going off script with her, she's doing something that someone like John Cena would do.
Yep.
She's doing something that someone like Randy Orton would do.
Yep.
Because she comes from a different time in wrestling. And she's trying to teach Tiffany something.
Yep.
She's literally in there to help Tiffany get better.
Yep.
Because if Charlotte's not the one to do that,
who?
Someone else will.
And who is it? Who is it? Who else is the one that's going to take Tiffany to the next level?
They don't have someone like that other than Charlotte.
Right.
Tiffany got lucky in a spot with the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
She got lucky because the story with Nia was there, and all of the parts kind of came and fell in line, so it made sense for her to cash in.
I thought it was fantastic.
I don't know.
I thought that was fantastic too. I thought it was really well done.
Excellent. I don't know if Tiffany
Stratton... the bruises on her face. That's awesome.
Yeah, the bruising in the game is
so cool.
A lot of fun this year. Sometimes a little too much, but it's been cool to see.
Yeah.
Officially, I think Charlotte Flair is going to win.
I do too.
I'm putting my money on Charlotte, not because
the game said so.
Yeah, but not even because I think Charlotte's the better overall performer.
Nothing
everything.
To do with that.
I think Tiffany has hit her wall for as far as the story that she's able to tell as the champion currently. I think the character of Tiffany Stratton needs to learn a very valuable lesson at WrestleMania, because she gets cocky and she loses a step to the queen. That's it. There is no harm in losing to Charlotte Flair. You are not going to be able to make Tiffany look bad by being the loser in that scenario.
But then she's at a different, after this match, right?
Yes.
If she loses her title after this match, she's on a completely different level. She's been brought all the way to the top. Yes. And now going forward, she has something against Charlotte Flair with which to continue to build her character. Because now she's chasing the greatest of all time. You know what I mean? So now when Tiffany gets it back, because that's the thing that you have to understand about Charlotte having so many titles under her belt, is she's had to lose it that many times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not like it's just this crazy thing where they just keep handing them to her. She's winning them, and then she's putting other women over and losing them. You know? You have to lose it to win it that many times.
Yeah. And
that's just how it works.
You have to be willing to go in there and do business and think about long-term what's the best course of action for the story.
Yeah.
You know, and whether or not that's carrying the title for 4 years or whatever, Tiffany is going to have so many other WrestleMania moments.
For sure.
Over the next
Make sure you put a
few
table
years.
under there.
Okay. I'm going to remove this lid.
Kendo stick.
Let's do another chair. Another chair. All right.
Okay.
So we're coming to the main event of night one.
We are.
It's a non-title match.
I still think it's going to be a number one contender match.
I think we could safely assume that without
even if it's like
naming
unofficial,
it that.
I think it's going to be a number one contender match.
Yeah. I think Punk enters last, personally.
Oh, for sure. And before we started, I just have to call somebody, so don't get into it yet.
You're good. You're good.
All right. I'm going to take my headphones out real quick.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Yeah, so I'm very interested to see what's going to happen.
Fuck them. Okay. Sorry.
All right. All good. All good.
Okay.
Okay. We are ready. I switched everything to slow
Okay. That makes sense.
for this match. It's main event.
Yeah.
I don't know why Heyman looks like he's with Roman there. That's weird. Anyway.
Well, hopefully the game gives us what we want for this triple threat main event. But
This match is the most excited I've been for any of these WrestleMania matches.
yeah,
And I think it's strictly based on who's involved.
there is so much history here, and they've definitely alluded to it in the promos, but I don't think that they've even gone as far as they could getting the history together. All I can hope for is that the video package before this is 15 minutes long and really gets into it, because there's a lot to cover. There's a lot to cover. I love how they've weaved them together. I don't understand people who say that one person in this match doesn't make sense, or they haven't done enough to connect all of these dots. You're just not paying attention.
Yeah, you're not.
There's really no other way to go about it. Like you just don't know. You don't know what you're talking about.
It comes down to basic storytelling at that point.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you can't pick up on what they're laying for you, groundwork-wise, like, how?
Yeah,
Honestly, how are you even watching the program?
I think having the favor thing run for as long as it did was genius, because it had everyone talking when it happened. What's it going to be?
Yeah.
What's it going to be? And then every time Punk was involved with something, one of the takeaways from it was, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? So it's just like, really good job. And then not acknowledging it until they were ready to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Speaking of acknowledgement. Yeah, I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome that Roman Reigns was the guy that Punk didn't believe in the Shield. And Seth Rollins was more of the Punk guy. And he's more of the Punk mold, obviously, anyway. But that just makes the disdain that Seth and Punk have for each other now even more interesting. Because I think that Seth, despite having turned on Roman and all of the things that have happened with them, I think that he justifies what he's done to Roman very well.
Yeah.
Acting as like the check to Roman's unchecked power for a long time. And Seth's really the only guy that's been able to like get in there and really bother Roman on a level, because that's somebody that he let in.
Mm-hmm. The whole reason that Roman even lost the title is because of Seth. It is a direct consequence of hitting Seth with the chair instead of Cody. So, like, there's layers with Roman and Seth. There's layers with Punk and Roman. There's layers with Seth and Roman. All the stuff that Seth and Punk did in the lead up to the Netflix debut was genius.
Yeah.
It was great. It was like so entertaining and captivating to watch. And when they finally had their match, it was actually, it lived up to the hype, in my opinion. I don't think that match under-delivered.
No.
I think that match was exactly what it needed to be. And then when they did the cage match, when they ran it back in the cage and then introduced Roman, I was over the moon with the choice to do that, and the way that they did that, having Roman slide in there and target Seth and beat him up, and Seth wins the match, but only because Roman allowed it to happen. And then having Punk have that line of, neither one of you two have been able to beat me without the other's help.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And I think that is going to come back to bite CM Punk in the ass and cost him this match.
Okay.
Because I think...
You think they're going to work together eventually?
Yes. We are going to get a full-on Shield fist bump from both of them.
Wow.
And I think this is the night that it happens.
Okay.
And I could see them power bombing Punk through the announce table.
Okay. That's 100% not what I'm expecting. So I'm for it, because it would be crazy to see. It would be crazy to see. I have so much to say about it. I don't even know where to start, honestly. I think that my official prediction for this match is that Punk wins.
Okay.
So I'll start there. You think Punk's gonna win, but who do you think he pins or submits? That's good. I think it's Seth.
Okay.
I think it's Seth for the reason of keeping a finish between Punk and Roman fresh still.
On the table.
For
the future.
As a potential singles bout down the road. I don't know when. I'm not forecasting that it's soon. Mm-hmm. Just if it's Punk pinning somebody, I think it has to be Seth to keep the idea of Roman and him not having that interaction so you could still use it.
Sure. But how long do you stretch that out for?
I mean, you don't even have to circle back to it. It's just if you get them against one another again, you have that statement in your back pocket. Like, well, you've never beat me, and like, well, you've never beat me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then you build a singles match around that.
Right. I think that I loved during the
Punk's got a prime bottle.
Oh my god. He's unhinged.
He was gonna pour it down their throats.
Oh, that would have been the worst.
Nobody wants that.
The worst.
Nobody wants that.
If you're on the business end of a prime bottle. Look at this, Jesus. I loved during the reveal of the favor from Heyman.
Yes.
Seth Rollins' just presence in that, because like he's laughing at Roman Reigns when Heyman is like crying his eyes out. Seth is laughing at Roman Reigns like, I told you that you've pushed everyone away. I've told you that. Like, Heyman can't even have your back here. And I think that, and I love the idea that Heyman has to be a man of his word. He told Punk that he owed him a favor, and he can't go back on that. And Roman Reigns, as the tribal chief, as somebody who's supposed to stand on his business and be a man of his word, has to understand that. He doesn't have to like it, but he has to understand that. And for Seth to be the one pointing out to him, I told you so, I think is really good for all of their characters.
Yeah.
Because Punk's using Heyman as like this trump card. Like, everything has been taken away from you here, and you're in a corner. Roman Reigns has nobody to fall back on. Now it just has to be the tribal chief on his own. There's no tribe now.
Exactly.
He's just a chief.
He's the tribal chief, and he does not have a tribe. And this, I think, we're about to see the next evolution of the character of Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Because I don't think that Heyman comes back to him after this. I don't know if Heyman just stays with Punk. I don't know what happens. I think there's also a world where the favor that he owes Seth Rollins is that he has to fucking be with Seth Rollins now.
I think the favor that he owes Seth Rollins is he's got to cost Punk the match.
Okay.
That's what I think is going to happen. So I think that's
a little heavy-handed for just not eating a curb stomp, personally. Because Seth's just sort of like calling his own shot with it. So I think maybe Heyman might pretend to deliver and then not deliver that, because, well, I don't know you shit. You could have knocked me out and I would have been fine. You know what I mean? Heyman's been through worse.
I guess, but I'm also not a big fan of Seth saying, "Now you owe me a favor."
I don't like that at all. I didn't like that at all.
But
because there's significantly less that Heyman can owe him.
Well, it's just, it almost becomes predictable in a way, because like you said, there's only so many options that we can go from. But I think that's going to make the difference, and I think Seth Rollins is going to win this match, and I think Paul Heyman is going to be the reason he wins. Whether that's intentional or not, that is my prediction.
Okay.
I am predicting Seth Rollins as the winner here, because I think out of all three guys, Seth's the one that could benefit the most from the victory.
For sure. Like, and that's, Punk's character doesn't need to win. We've seen him lose. It doesn't harm his stock any. I don't know what you would do with him in the immediate aftermath of it. My fully masturbatory fantasy is that Cena wins on night 2 and Punk wins this match and we set up Cena versus Punk for a title in the year 2025, which if you said that 3 years ago, everybody would have been like, you're a fucking moron. And there's no shot. So that's what I want out of it. That's what my heart desires as the outcome of this.
I think there's time for CM Punk to pick up a win and face Cena for a championship. Because we're only in April.
I know.
We're only at the start of the year. So
I know.
There's still some plenty of time there to set that up, including, I think, what should be the Money in the Bank main event. But
right, I gotcha. Yeah.
But either way, I mean...
Because, if you do that, you can get right to it. You can get right to it.
Well, they'll have Backlash before.
Right.
So, and that's in St. Louis. So that's why I'm thinking they'll do Cena versus Orton there.
Okay. Randy Orton and CM Punk had the best WrestleMania match on the card that they wrestled each other. So,
For 27?
That was the best match on the card. Fight me.
Fair. Okay.
I loved that match. Loved it. Had so much fun with that match. I thought it was great.
There's a lot that could happen in this match. This triple threat, as we've seen. I think they're going to get some time.
Yeah.
They're going to be given time to work, and they're going to craft a really, really, really good story.
Over under
out of this.
Over under with entrances. How long? 40. Over under. I'm setting at 42 minutes with entrances.
I'd say under.
Okay.
I'd give them at least 35.
Okay.
Like, it's not under by a lot, but it's going to be at least... I think they'll go at least a half an hour.
I think the full segment entrances to the bell plus any after-match shenanigans, I think we could be looking at over an hour.
It's possible. There's enough that these guys could all do for an hour 100%. In a match without even hitting a finisher.
Right. But I love the idea of how many close calls on finishers we could get.
Yeah.
But I could also see where this match starts off and it's Seth dropping somebody with a stomp right out of the gate, and then they work like a single until the other guy gets back up. Like there's a lot that they, like you said, there's a lot that could happen.
The no DQ element of the match is definitely going to come into play. And I hope they don't do anything goofy.
Yeah. But I think it's interesting. Oh, shit. I think it's interesting that we, neither of us has Roman Reigns winning.
Yeah.
I think that's really interesting.
I think just we're at a point where Roman doesn't need the win.
No.
What does Roman need a WrestleMania win for at this point?
And
he's not the champion.
What would it do for him?
He had how many WrestleMania events does Roman need to win?
Right.
To make him do something. Like, it's not going to elevate him to beat these guys at WrestleMania. It's going to do a lot for CM Punk, and it's going to do a lot for Seth Rollins. Yeah. If either one of those guys win.
Yeah, it's a lot more for them. And something that we've talked about privately, because we don't frequently do these types of podcasts anymore.
No.
Is Seth and Roman are, in my opinion, this generation's Hogan and Macho Man.
Yes.
Where they are made of each other and always inexorably linked to one another. And I think Roman Reigns' biggest issue with CM Punk being here, because we know some people that don't understand why Roman Reigns has issue with CM Punk. And the issue that Roman Reigns has with CM Punk is that CM Punk exists. And he's no longer, quote unquote, the big dog. but
he is the threat to Roman's empire.
Punk had to leave for Roman to ascend. A lot of people had to leave for Seth and Roman to get to the level that they are. Cena had to go part-time. Lesnar's no longer around. Undertaker hung him up. Like, a lot of those people were in the way.
Daniel Bryan had to leave.
Leave. There were a lot of people in the way of Roman and Seth being the de facto top two guys in the company. That was one of Roman's issues with Cody, was Cody being there took away from what he had built and what he had. But Punk being there almost erases it. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean that to take away from Seth or Roman, but like Punk being there, it's like nobody's paying attention to them if Punk's there. The crowd immediately goes for Punk in the ring if the three of them are in the ring. That's just how it goes now, because Punk's at the level of living legend now, especially because he returned to WWE.
He's in that role now. He's fulfilling that actual legend status, where as before he was more along the lines of just like another one of the Bulldogs.
Yeah, he was the Seth Rollins. He was fighting up. He was trying to make it in his image.
Yeah, Punk has become the part-timer that he hates, but in the same sense, Punk is there to elevate the show,
right? And
actually, like, he performs a role,
right?
He's not just a utility player.
He's a big part of the show. I love that he was working with Gunther on that tour, on that European tour. Yeah. That's genius. Yeah. Genius. Do we get a Pepsi plunge at WrestleMania?
Oh.
Does Seth do a Pepsi plunge? Because he already does.
I don't think Seth does it. I think I could see Punk hitting one.
How cool would that be? How cool would that be?
It would pop the crowd. It would work.
It would. And this is a situation where he would have to use the strongest possible moves that he can.
Maneuvers. Yeah.
To put somebody away, because like Roman Reigns isn't just going to lay down for him.
No.
I think that'd be really cool. That's a really cool possibility. Uh-oh, he's got the Prime bottle.
Yeah, Punk again with that Prime bottle, man. Oh, and a spear. Just shit. Like that.
Wow. We're seeing it play out in real time, exactly what's going to happen.
But like, tell us what you guys think is going to happen. Like, let us know in the comments below, like, what you think is setting up for the future of this program, because that's another thing you have to think and take into consideration, is where does the story go after WrestleMania ends?
Yeah.
WWE is a continuous thing. You have to think of it as
it's a
never-ending story.
Yeah, it's very rarely that they're like, all right, this is the end. It's a comic book. We're always in the middle of what's happening with the characters. Mm-hmm. So you have to think about where all of this goes after the fact. Unless the game just ends it here. No, okay.
Well, like you said, you kind of envision this being a number one contenders match.
Yeah. Even if they don't say it, I think that you can look at it as the guy that wins this is working whoever wins Cena versus Cody.
Yeah. I think you could safely assume that. And not even in the sense of like Cena versus Cody is going to be a one and done thing.
Right,
there will be another match in that series. But when that story wraps up,
right,
whoever wins this is going to slide right in there very easily.
Yeah. Oh no, the ref's bumped. Oh shit.
Chad Patton is down and out, man.
Now I hope that somebody gets a full 1, 2, 3 cover, but the ref's been out and he didn't see it. Maybe that's
the part where
that's Seth's win.
Well, that's true.
Right?
Ooh.
Right?
But, like, Heyman is going to play a much larger role in the actual match.
Sure.
Oh, man, this is going to be right on that. Oh, okay. Punk's got that big hydration bottle now, a Prime.
So stupid. His character's obsessed with the Prime bottles.
It's just him hating.
It's a reminder of Logan Paul, and he's like, I hate that fucking guy.
Yeah. Ugh. Don't we all, man? Don't we all?
Jesus.
For various reasons. Not because of his effective heel work.
Legit go away heat. Seth with the
I think
fucking
Roman
laser.
was going for a spear, and Seth countered into that friggin' sling blade. That was cool.
But yeah, I just really want to see, like, I know, and that's the thing that's killing me about it, is because I know the logic. We understand the logic of it too much.
Yeah.
Punk being in the main event could just be that's what he got.
Yeah.
Didn't have to win it.
No.
So
but
there's a lot.
Being in the
There's
main
a
event's
lot
a
to.
big deal.
There's a lot to him being comfortable putting. There's a lot to him being in it and putting Rollins over. So like,
yeah.
I'm not going to discredit you saying that at all. I think that that's possible.
So
what would be a total head scratcher for both of us is if Roman Reigns just wins.
Yeah. I think it would be a little bit less of a head scratcher based on what actually happened in our stream here.
Yeah.
Because Roman just took a chest bump into the exposed turnbuckle, and then Punk just pinned him.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's not going to happen.
He's so gassed though because he took one of these.
I mean, it was a grueling match.
It was.
For sure. I mean, there was like a lot happening, and that was for sure the best match of the night.
Definitely.
So far. Definitely main event worthy. I feel like there's not another match on the WrestleMania card for night one to be the night one main event. Like,
right.
You could argue Jey Uso versus Gunther is important because it's for the title and everything.
Yeah.
But you could just as easily argue, okay, well, why doesn't Io Sky, Rhea Ripley,
Sure.
and Bianca Belair main event night one? Like,
they definitely could have.
There's a reason why this is the main event of night one. It's because the story calls for it.
Yeah.
All three guys in the match are main event caliber talent. Nobody's fighting up here.
Right.
All three of these guys are pros, and I don't know, man. So officially, I'm pitching Seth Rollins to win.
Okay. I'm going to stick with Punk, but I would not. I'll be a little disappointed if it's Seth. I won't be upset. I'll be a little disappointed.
Okay.
But I think no matter what, as the game pointed out, we are looking at an instant classic, and that's something to be excited about.
Yes. Wholeheartedly agree.